Oh, that is a terrible light. Hello, people. That's better. You can see me now, can't you? It's very dark just here. Ooh. A fair few people in. Hello. Good evening, people. Dave Thackeray, who's going to be taking the minutes this week? No one takes the minutes, Dave. Oh, if only it was like a normal meeting, like an actual meeting, eh? I guess you guys take the minutes, don't you? Good evening, people. How are we? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. We've got quite a few people in here. We've got 14. That's pretty good. I suppose you've all tuned in to see who's going to get their hands on the Nottinghamshire flag. As you might be able to tell, we've got the picker wheel out with names on it. We'll do that in a short while. Just wait for a few more people to join us. We've also got another flag to give away soon, so we'll also get to that in this meeting too. Nikki's here, stitching away at the side of me,
yeah,
and enjoying it. as always. Okay, let's see. Very cloudy, says Mike. Oh, Mike, I didn't realise you lived in Doncaster. I'm sure you didn't tell me that. Yeah, it is quite cloudy here at the moment, isn't it? Across South Yorkshire. Bit cool. It's apparently gonna rain on Wednesday. That's gonna be interesting. So I'm gonna get wet again. Avoided the rain this week, which was a good thing. But yeah, see what happens this week, shall we? Is the kitchen finished now? Yes, it is. It's finished now. Of course, it's finished. It's fully operational. We love working in that new kitchen, don't we, Nikki? It's great, isn't it? Right, let's get down to business then. We've got enough people in here now. We've got 22. That's really good. So, first thing, as always, the guess where I am answer. Now, there was only one person who actually got the right answer to this week, which was a bit surprising, actually. I thought more people might have got it. It was a bit tricky. I was on a road which used to run into a town, but now it doesn't because there's a bypass in the way. And I was looking for the name of the village I was in. And it was Little Driffield was the answer, because that was York Road I was stood on, and that used to run into Driffield town centre, but now the A614 is in the way, so you can't do that anymore. You've got to go round. It's not a big detour, but yeah, that's where I was. And the Driffield episode, which is part of, is going to be coming out in the not too distant future. It's an epic episode, let me tell you, Linton, because the people who weren't here last week won't know this. I actually stayed in Bridlington last week because I couldn't find a hotel in Driffield that was within my budget, but I used the train to get between the two towns, which was an experience. So I've filmed part of the train journey, so it's something different for you. The episode itself is 38 minutes long, I think, so it's a big one. It's a big one, but there's lots to talk about in it, to be fair. So let's see, let's catch up on a couple of comments before I move on to this week's locations. Hi, Dave from Australia. Or should I say, good day, mate? I don't do a very good Aussie accent, to be honest. Oh, and John's here from Ireland. Hey, haven't seen you for a while, mate. Where have you been? I'm sure you've been in the background watching me. This light is still not very good, but we'll be okay. Oh, dear. Excuse me. Right, this week's filming locations then. I'm going to be in East Lindsey this week. I'm going to be tackling 8 of them, which are all up near Grimsby. Been a while since we've been up there. Last time we were up there, we were finishing off the Northeast Lincolnshire series, which seems like ages ago now, doesn't it? But yeah, it's going to be the first time I've been up there for a bit. So I'm going to be heading to Northcote, which is right on the coast. Then Tetney, and then Halton-le-Clay. So basically doing the sort of southern reaches of Grimsby, if you like, coming more towards Louth. And the other 5 I'm doing, because I'm doing 8. Those are the first 3. The other 8 will be Fulstow, both the Covenhams. So that's Covenham St Mary and Covenham St Bartholomew. I can't remember which way round they are, but I think it's Bartholomew that's further north, if I remember right. So both of those. Utterby and North Ormsby, which is going to be an interesting one. There's a statue in North Ormsby in the middle of a field. I'm going to have to ask the farmer who owns that field when I get there if I can actually go to it, because I think it's on a private track, but it's kind of the most interesting thing North Ormsby has got. So look out for that episode when it comes out. So yeah, we're doing 8 this week, and yeah, they're all going to be in East Lindsey. And yeah, I'm going to get wet, I think, because it's going to rain on Wednesday. Right. Okay. So let's move on then. Let's move on to this thing, because I'm sure you're all waiting for this. Now, just before I do, you remember I said that to get your hands on the Nottinghamshire flag, which is right here with me. There it is. It's not been signed yet, but it will be somewhere. I don't know whether to sign it on the white, the green, or the red, or maybe in the middle where the Robin Hood thing is. What do you think? Whereabouts should I put my sorry? Let the winner decide. That's a good idea. Right. So whoever wins this, if you're in this chat, let me know where you want it signing. If they're not in this chat, I'll make a post on Facebook afterwards. Now, like I said, just before we get to this, you remember I said that to win it, you had to like, share, and comment on the post for me to put you into the draw. Don't think everybody got that memo, because the post had 26 shares. So in theory, there should be 26 names on this wheel, but there aren't. There are only, I think there's 15. And the reason for that is because not everybody commented underneath, and Facebook, in its ultimate wisdom, sometimes doesn't show you who shared what, because some shares are private. They're not public shares, and it won't show you where it's been shared. So I think I can only see, 6 of the shares. So what I've done is I've taken those 6, everybody who's liked it, and everybody who commented, and combined them together, and it's given us 15 in total. So it should really be 26, but that's just how it is. So if you want to get your hands on another one in the future, you've got to do all 3 things, because I won't know who's liked, comment, who's shared it, unless you've actually put it in the comment below. So yeah, we're going to run with it anyway. We've got 15 names on here on the wheel. There it is. I'm just going to move the stand a little bit so we can get a bit closer. There we go. Can you spot your name on there? I know there's a couple of people who are in this chat who are definitely on here. Alice, you are one, and I know you're here because I've seen you already in the chat. I'm not sure who else, but it's definitely you. I know you'd like to get your hands on it because you're a Nottinghamshire lass, aren't you? Right, okay. So we're going to spin the wheel, and whoever it lands on is the winner. Are we ready? Drum roll, please. 3, 2, 1, spin. And it is Des Webster. I know it's back to front. I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. So if you're in this chat, make yourself known, Des. If not, I'll put a post up and confirm that you are the winner after I finish this stream. Now, if you want to get your hands on another flag, you can do almost straight away, in fact, because that one is going to a home now. But when I bought that one, I also bought this one. Derbyshire. Haha. Do we have any Derbyshire people in here tonight? I should hope we do. The amount I've covered in Derbyshire now, there should definitely be some Derbyshire folk in here now. There you go. There's part of it. It's a very big thing. It's the same size as the Nottinghamshire one, so yeah, you can't see it all. But you know what the flag looks like. You've probably seen enough of my Derbyshire episodes now to be familiar with it. So it'll be the same thing with this. I'm going to sign this and give it away to somebody in exactly the same manner. So at some point this week, I will put up a video similar to that Nottinghamshire one. And remember, like, comment, and share. Do all three things. Otherwise, your name may not be in the wheel at the end. When I've given that one away, I shall then be obtaining another one, maybe another two. I'm thinking definitely Easter riding. I've seen one on eBay, which I know is exactly the same size as these. And I know there's plenty of Easter riding people out there who will want their hands on that. So I shall buy that at some point. And I think maybe Leicestershire as well, because I'm going to start and work my way down into Leicestershire now. There's a few Leicestershire episodes coming out in the next few weeks. So yeah, I will be buying that one, I think. I can't think of any other county that could potentially be one to go for at the moment. So yeah, we'll see. So there you go. That's the story with the two flags. So let's see. Just going to catch up on a couple of comments because while I've been talking, oh, we're talking about allotments in the comments, are we? Blimey. I see the fans are in tonight. It's funny, I haven't seen any allotments for a bit. I'll be honest with you. I can't think of any that I've been to in the past couple of weeks. I think I've been more focused on other things, quite frankly. The fans will be very, very disappointed. It's a running joke that's just carried on and on and on. And I love it, actually. So I'll see if I can find some this week. Let's move down. Catwoman Jones says Warwickshire flag. Warwickshire flag, I assume that's what that means. I could, actually. I haven't totally decided on whether or not I want to buy the Leicestershire one next, but I could do the Warwickshire one. Could do. Thing is, I don't have many followers from Warwickshire at the moment, and the reason for that is because I've only been there twice. So I definitely need to go back again. But obviously, I am going to go back because when the Easter riding's finished, as you know, I am going to do that run that's near Leamington Spa, starting in Radford, Semele. So yeah, it is going to happen at some point. So yeah, don't worry. You might be able to get your hands on the Warwickshire flag next. Soon. So that's that. Now, one thing I have been doing this week, apart from all the other usual stuff, is I've been planning the route for the London trip, which is coming up pretty fast, actually. It's June the 7th, 8th and 9th. As you know, it's for the 10,000 subscriber special. I'm inching my way towards 10,000. It's just got past 9,700, so it's creeping up slowly. Still quite a way away, obviously. Less than 300 now, but still quite a way. And obviously, when I get to that, there will be a special video, and it's a walk around the city of London. Now, I've planned this route. I put the actual route map up on Facebook yesterday. Got some great reactions because, I knew people would be interested in where we're going. So I'll just briefly go over what I can remember of it offhand because I haven't got it in front of me. It will likely change in some way, shape or form before we actually get there.
Organically when we get there anyway.
It will, yeah.
I like to wander off.
Yeah, I mean, Nikki's going to be doing a bit of research into various areas. There'll be plenty of insight from her. I mean, there's one area in particular that we were talking about the other day, near Fleet Street in Chancery Lane, which was quite interesting. So, I some of the stuff that Nikki found out about that was quite eye-opening, actually, and I'm going to include it in the video. So yeah, anyway, the route. So I'm going to start at Tower Hill. Now, Tower Hill is not in the City of London, believe it or not. It's just outside. The boundary runs round it. So yeah, but Tower Hill Tube Station is the easiest place to start because it's almost right on the boundary, the border, as it were. Nikki has just handed me her phone because I forgot I sent the route to her. So here's the route from Tower Hill Station. We're going to get off at the tube station. We're going to walk down Upper Thames Street and go to All Hallows at the Tower Church first. Now, that is the oldest church in London. It dates back to 675 AD. So that's a great start, isn't it? Then we're going to make our way to Monument. If you guys don't know what Monument's all about, you soon will. I assume you probably all do. You know what Monument's about. If not, you know, I'll cover it. Then there's London Bridge, which is right next to Monument, actually. I've walked over London Bridge before. We're going to make our way down the Thames under Cannon Street Railway Bridge. We'll do Cannon Street itself further round in the route. And essentially what we're doing at that point is heading towards St. Paul's Cathedral. So along the river and then sort of north-ish to get to St. Paul's. Then we're going to go up to the Old Bailey. So after St. Paul's, I'm going to sort of loop north and back down the street that the Old Bailey's on. Never actually seen that before. That's going to be quite cool. We're going to make our way to Blackfriars at that point. So back down towards the river. We're going to walk along the river again, along the Thames towards the temple, the inner and middle temples. That's something to do with law, according to Nikki. Not quite sure what, but we'll find out. There is a church in the temple. We'll cover that because that's quite a stunning building. Then we're going to go along Fleet Street and up Chancery Lane.
That's over a hidden river.
Indeed, indeed. Fleet Street is named after the River Fleet, which is actually under the ground at that point. And then that's sort of, once we reach the top of Chancery Lane, we are then at the sort of northwestern corner. You can't go any further northwest than that. So that's when we start to turn around and come back, basically. So the next landmark is Holborn Viaduct. And then once beyond that, we're on to Smithfield Market. Now, there are plenty of markets in London. Obviously, the most famous one is Billingsgate, which used to be in the city, but it's not anymore. It's actually on Canary Wharf. I found out. But Smithfield is still interesting enough to talk about. That's right opposite St. Bartholomew's Hospital. There's a cracking little area just in front of it, in front of St. Bartholomew's Hospital, which has got like loads of memorials. So I should be sure to catch that. Just beyond that, we then go to Postman's Park and the Sacrifice Memorial. Now, Carol, are you in here tonight? Where are you? I haven't seen your name in the chat. If you're here, make yourself known, Carol. I'm just scrolling back to see if you are here. Yes, you are. There you are. There we are. Cracking. Now, Postman's Park and the Sacrifice Memorial was Carol's suggestion. So I had a look at this, and essentially the park is not exact. It's not a massive, one of the massive London parks like Hyde Park or anything like that. It's really small, but it's what's in it that makes it interesting. The Sacrifice Memorial is absolutely awesome, and I just could not do this route without it, because it's just something that I think you'll all be interested in. If you don't know what it is, then yeah, wait and see. So anyway, we'll go through that, and you're virtually at that point then heading for the Museum of London, which apparently is closed at the moment. Whether it'll be closed when we get there, I don't know, but hopefully it's not. We can have a little look at that if it is. Then it's the Barbican Centre. Brutalist 70s architecture at its finest. Through that to Finsbury Circus, and then to Liverpool Street Station. And at that point, Nikki will probably be taking over the camera and just running the show for like 20 minutes of the video, because you used to work in Liverpool Street, didn't you?
I did, and I was in Liverpool Street when the Bishopsgate bomb went off.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of Bishopsgate, that's after Liverpool Street Station. We'll then make our way to the Guildhall, and then we're going to walk down Cheapside and onto Watling Street. Now, I'm sure you guys know the importance of Watling Street, but again, if you don't, you soon will. Then it's Cannon Street, and then we're going to turn up towards the Bank of England, and up onto Threadneedle Street. And then after that, it's make our way across to the Gherkin, or 30 St Mary Axe, if you like. I'm sure you all know what the Gherkin is. It's not the only tall building in that part of London, because there's also the walkie-talkie and the NatWest Tower, which will catch that as well. And then we'll go
It's
to
Tower 42 now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
No longer the NatWest Tower.
Whatever is, I still know it as the NatWest Tower.
I know it's the NatWest Tower. But
I think everybody.
But, you know, for correctness, it's
Tower 42. Yeah, okay. But I think the average layman still calls it the NatWest Tower, don't they? Then we'll go to Aldgate, and then to Fenchurch Street Station, and that is the route. Done. But of course, like I said, there will probably be more added to it. There will probably be changes to it at some point. It took me quite a long time to plan. I think it took me 3 hours to plan it. I don't think it's going to take me that long to walk it, though, to be honest, because there's so much to see that you won't even realize how many steps you're doing. You know, if you were to walk that route yourself, you could probably be around it in like 3 or 4 hours, and you probably wouldn't even realize you'd done it. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Absolutely it is. But then again, London always is. And I'm sure we're going to find some little hidden gems as well as the big landmarks.
Not mentioned that we know of.
What's that? Oh, St Dunstan. Oh, of course, yeah, St Dunstan. St Dunstan in the east and St Dunstan in the west, actually. Yeah, they're on the route.
Loads and loads of Wren churches, and there's lots of little stories and plaques and markers and all sorts of stuff.
Loads. I remember looking at the map when I planned it, and I just thought, oh, I better include this, I better include that, I better include this. And then after a while, I thought, well, if I try and include all that, the video is going to be about 10 hours long, never mind 1 hour. So I've had to think about it a bit. Hello, Hannah, what's up?
Bring me back a keyring.
Bring you back a key ring? We will try.
No, you wouldn't want to try.
Maybe. Yeah. Richard says it will take you a lot longer when you plan Bradfield route. The Bradfield route is planned, Richard. That's actually next week's filming location. 13 pages worth of route that was, because there are that many settlements in it. There is some walking in it, but most of that's going to be done in the car. It's going to be fabulous. Hopefully the weather's going to hold out next week, because I really want that one to be decent weather, but we'll soon see. It's the only one I'm doing next week. It's going to take me that long to make it. Vince says you ought to be as fit as a fiddle with the amount of walking you do. You know what? I wish I was. But honestly, I'm not. I'm not. I walk around all the time, but I'm just not fit for some reason. I don't know. It's how the cookie crumbles, I suppose.
I win you.
Sorry again?
I win you.
Well, I know you are. I remember you and me walking around Hornsey a couple of weeks ago, and I had to put the afterburners on to keep up with her, because Nikki can move. Nikki can move.
I'm half a pound away from 6 stone loss.
Indeed you are. Nikki's done well with this weight loss journey, haven't you? Let's see. Just going to catch up with a couple of comments, because I've, again, been talking for a bit. Haven't really missed a lot, quite frankly. Richard says I'll need about 30 cards for the parish notice boards in Bradfield. No, I won't. I think I'm probably going to leave one in Loxley, one in Stannington, one in Worrell, maybe one in Warncliffe side. But all the others, I don't think are going to get one, quite frankly, because most of them, like I said, I'm going to be driving through. Just the ones really where there's some walking. I should probably leave one in Bradfield itself, if it's got one. It should have. So, let's see. Jamie says, I was in Knaresborough earlier. Any chance of going there anytime soon if it isn't an unparished area? Right. So Knaresborough is now the only one that's left for me. I know you guys have still got some other ones to see yet. It's the only one for me which borders Harrogate town itself that's left for me. I've got no plans to do it yet because it's massive. I'm more bothered with Harrogate at the moment with working my way north, and working my way through all these little ones between Harrogate and Ripon, between Knaresborough and Boroughbridge, and up sort of towards where it borders. Let me get this right. Craven. Does it border Craven? Yes, it does. Hambleton's the other side. Cogs are turning here. I'm more bothered about working up towards those sort of northern borders at the moment. I might do Boroughbridge at some point in the not too distant future, because actually that's not as big as it looks. But Ripon and Knaresborough, I'm not too worried about them yet. I might save Knaresborough until last. And the reason for that is because it's right next to Harrogate itself. So by that point, there will be plenty of people in that area who will sort of who will have seen my stuff, and it'd be an ideal place for everyone to come and meet at the end of the series. It's not too far from Ripon, so people from Ripon could get there quite easily, and it's not too far from Boroughbridge either. So there's a parish notice board outside the parish hall in Low Bradfield. Cool. I think I will be leaving one there then. Let's see. There are 3 in Stannington. Great. Beryl says, come to Pateley Bridge. It's only 10 miles from Ripon. I will be doing Pateley Bridge at some point. I can't remember what the parish name is for that one, but it's not Pateley Bridge. It's something else. Because it involves some other places too. But like I said, I can't remember. Is it High and Low Bishopside it's called? I think that's what it's called. Yeah, I think it's High and Low Bishopside. So yeah, we'll be doing that at some point anyway. Obviously that's more to the west as opposed to the north, working north. But I will do them. Yeah, it is High and Low Bishopside. Yeah, I thought it was. Yeah. It's I know it's one I've seen on the map as I've been planning runs. I clicked on it one time thinking, what the heck's that? And then I realised it's Pateley Bridge. Quite why it's called that, I don't know. Catwoman Jones, do you know how many there are in rugby? Yes, indeed I do. There's 41, and I've done 4 of them already, as you know. I will be coming back down for the other 37 at some point. But I just don't know when yet. This new system I've devised, obviously, to put all the counties in a pot and keep picking them out. That's going to go ahead. At some point after September, I'll start doing it. But generally speaking, it's going to start. Hang on, let me get this right. It's going to start after September, but my sort of main aim is to begin it properly next year. I might do a couple of them between September and the end of the year. As you know, October is going to be a mad month. It's going to be called Crazy October. There's not going to be any structure to it. It's going to be just all over the place. But, variety is the spice of life, so they say. So hopefully you guys are up for that. Beryl says it's lovely here in Beverley. Oh, Bewley. Sorry, I read that as Beverley. Sorry. I know why. It's because I've had my mind firmly on the East Riding at the moment, because I've only got a handful left there now, and I've been thinking a lot about that just recently and how I'm going to do them. So that's why I read that as Beverley and not Bewley. Sorry. Would that be South Yorkshire finished when you've done Bradfield? Yes, it would. It would also be the first county I finished as well. Oh, that's a point. Speaking of completing counties, as you know, both Nottinghamshire and the East Riding, I will get them finished this year, and South Yorkshire. But I've also got the chance to get another one finished too. When we go to London, I've also planned the route for the only one in London, the only one in Greater London. It's Queen's Park, which is in the city of Westminster. I've done the route, not done anything else yet. Reason for that is because if we get time to do it, we'll do it. But if we don't, then it doesn't matter. It's a bonus if we manage to do it. It's not all that big, so I don't think if we actually manage to do it, I don't think it's going to take that long. It'd probably take an hour or two, something like that. But yeah, if we do it, great. It will be a county finished as well, weirdly. There's only one in Greater London. But, it's got to be done at some point. They've all got to be done at some point. It doesn't really matter when they get done. If they get done, great. If they don't, well, it's kind of mission failed if they don't. So, okay. All right. Okay, so 2 of you asking now, what constitutes a parish? I've Googled it, but can't really understand it. Okay. The easiest way I can put it, because it is quite a difficult thing to understand, it's a political entity. So most people, when they hear the word, they think church, which is right, but it's also not right. The way the government works in this country is you obviously have your district councils, which is who you pay council tax to. So for us, it's Rotherham. We pay our council tax to Rotherham Borough Council, Metropolitan Borough Council. But then within those districts, there are smaller areas, and that's what we call a civil parish. Okay. Now, Rotherham's got 31. You in Rugby there, Catwoman Jones, you've got 41. It varies depending on where you are. I mean, how many Harrogate's got for a start? That's 139. Rydale's 115. I'm just reeling these off the top of my head because I know them. Dorset 265. Herefordshire 240. You get the idea. It varies greatly from place to place. And basically, within that entity, all the sort of smaller issues, shall we say, like street lighting, street names, allotment provisions, cemetery, governance, can't think of a better word than that, they all come under the sort of stewardship of the parish council, if it has one, because not all of them do, which is even more confusing. They have the powers to sort of oversee that kind of thing.
Things like planning consent.
Yeah, planning consent, yeah.
Cycleways, and if a horse has left some petrol in the road, and what they can do to raise funds for the spire of the church that needs fixing.
It's all little tiny local issues, stuff that the borough council or the district council wouldn't touch, because then they're not interested in that kind of thing. They're interested in the bigger things like the highways and the
parish councils are bothered about horse petrol on the road.
The
main councils are bothered about
potholes
in the road.
If you're in a local group on Facebook, which I'm in plenty now, you see that all these kind of issues on Facebook, because people complain all the time about tiny little things. It's down to the.
I've tried going to America and belonging to a homeowner association.
Basically, it's down to your parish council to sort those little things out, to oversee them all. District council don't want to know because they're more interested in lining their own pockets. I've got to be honest.
It's like squabbles as opposed to an all-out war.
Yeah, effectively.
Although some parish councils can create all-out.
Oh, they can. I'm sure you're all familiar with what happened a few years ago in Handforth, which I haven't got to yet. It's in Cheshire, but trust me, when I do, I'm going to be talking at length about what happened in a particular parish council meeting, which went viral on Zoom. So, yeah. That's going to be fun when I eventually get there. I will find out if that woman had the authority all along. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, just search Handforth Parish Council. You will find it. It is hilarious. It's utterly hilarious. I'll say nothing more than that at this point. So yeah, it's the smallest form of local government. Okay, so they look after all the little things basically. Now, there are unparished areas. We live in an unparished area, so we don't have a parish council.
Yeah, we don't pay an extra stipend on our council tax to support them either.
No, that's true. If you do live in a parished area, you have to pay what's called the parish precept, which is an extra bit of money on top of your council tax. And again, that varies from place to place because we don't have to pay it because we don't live in a parished area. So, yeah, generally speaking, if you don't live in a parish area, you're in a big town or a big city. There are some exceptions. I can think of one right off the top of my head, and that's Thringston, which is in northwest Leicestershire, which for some reason is not its own parish. It's an unparished area and it's a village. I don't understand why, but it is. Right? There are plenty of other little ones like that around, but generally speaking, if you live in an unparished area, you are in a big town or a big city where the council can have their say over everything, basically. It's a very complicated thing to understand. I'm really not into the politics of it all. I've got to be totally honest. I'm more into seeing these villages for what they are and what they've got. It's just the reason I've chosen to do it parish by parish is simply because you've got the borders. And when you've got borders, you've then got a structure. You've got something to work to. Because if there was no border, I wouldn't know where to stop one village and go on to the next one. You've seen it yourself, where there's been a walk that's gone over a parish boundary and into another village because they're virtually glued together. In fact, this week I'm going to be doing one exactly like that, the Covenants, which I've already mentioned. That walk will be one walk, but 2 episodes, because they're virtually glued together. There's not much land between them. So I just thought to myself, what's the point in doing 2 separate walks when I can do one continuous? And the border between the 2, I know where to stop one and where to start the other. And that's really why I've gone along with that. Like I said, the politics of it all, I'm not really interested in that. I never have been. It's sometimes fun to talk about it, but in the grand scheme of things, that's not my bag. I'm sort of more onto the sort of history of a place, you know, what it's like, what the people are like, what it's got, all this kind of stuff, as you know. But hey, it all makes for an interesting channel, doesn't it? So just going to catch up on a couple of comments. Is Succombe part of Warsop? Yes, it is. It is. Or is it? Is it part of Warsop? Yeah, I think it is, Alice. Yeah, I think it is. I'll have to look at it again. I've been looking at Warsop a few times because I know I've got to do it at some point. Yeah, I think it is. Jamie, if you're into trains, I'm guessing you'll be looking forward to Settle. We've actually been on the train from Settle, haven't we, Nikki? A few years ago, we were on holiday in the Lake District, and we took the train from Settle to Carlisle. Not the steam train, which I'm sure you're thinking of there, Jamie. It was just a normal train. But yeah, we did the route at least across Ribblehead Viaduct, which was pretty cool because the day before we'd been stood under it with our hands on it as if we were holding it up. It's the viaduct that was used in the Harry Potter film, just so you know. Sean says, saw your Gulsby post about the boundaries. Yep, that's a crazy one. So, let's see. I love your channel. I learn loads. Thank you, Beryl. I will visit Rye Hill, says Karen. Brilliant. Oh, Karen, are you the one that sent me that message earlier? Is that? Yeah, because I got a message from someone called Karen earlier, asking me to take a picture of the phone book. Now, if I lived in Rye Hill, I would get somebody's phone book and do that, but I don't live anywhere near it. So what I'll do, I'm in a Rye Hill group. I'll put a message in there if that's you, for someone to scroll to the right page, take a picture of it, and then I'll send it to you if they do that. Yeah, it is you. Great. Sorry I didn't reply. I was busy at the time. But yeah, I'll ask somebody in that Rye Hill group if they can help me out along those lines for you, because obviously, you know, I like to help people where I can. So, brilliant. Okay. Mike says, isn't the Harry Potter viaduct the Glenfinnan in Scotland? They may have used more than one, actually, but I know they definitely did use Ribblehead. Absolutely, they used Ribblehead. The one the one they used in the Chamber of Secrets, I think that was Ribbled Head. If it wasn't that, it was used in another film. Put it that way. They definitely used it at some point. So I'll find out when I get there. It's exactly which film it was, but yeah, that is one of them. If they did use more than one, so right. Oh, Trevor's here. Good evening, Trevor. A bit late, you say. You're never late in these, my friend. You're welcome at any time, and you can always watch these afterwards anyway. All these meetings, provided they're not members only, and this one isn't. So yeah, there's no such thing as missing a meeting. If you guys want to watch me again at some point, they're all there on YouTube. Just go and watch. Go and enjoy yourself. It's half an hour of banter every week, isn't it? Speaking of which, we've gone massively over that half an hour this week, but you know what? It's all good fun. I'm enjoying the chat, actually. But we have to bring it to a close because I've got a few things I need to do. I've got to sort this out. I've got to sort this Derbyshire flag out as well because I've got to put a little video up at some point for you guys to get your hands on that. And yeah, that's it for another week. So if you're a member, I will see you back here in 7 days' time. If you're not, I'll see you in 2 weeks when it's June. Can you believe it's June? Nearly. Amazing, isn't it? Where's this year going? It's fantastic. Weather's starting to get warm, but the year's starting to ebb away, isn't it? Crazy. So yeah, thanks everybody for coming, and I'll see you next week. See you later. Bye-bye.